first story is titled, Am I the a-hole for taking in my daughter full-time and kicking my girlfriend's son out? This is a doozy, and I think I might actually be the a-hole, but there isn't much of a choice in my opinion. I am 46 male living with my long-term girlfriend, 39 female, her son, 17 male to 18. My girlfriend works as a middle school teacher while I work as an engineer, and I own the home we live in. I inherited the home. I share 50-50 custody with my ex-wife, and she called me on a Wednesday telling me I needed to get our daughter, 17 female, early. We go week by week, so this was very early, and I asked if everything was okay. My ex told me our daughter was pregnant, and she was done with her. Not going to lie, it was like a bomb went off in my mind. I wasn't angry at all, but my baby having a baby let off a ton of emotions. I left for work to go and get her. She was outside her mom's house crying because her mom had kicked her out. I took her home and we had a long discussion about her options and about what she wanted to do. She decided on termination and I made the appointment. While at the appointment, she broke down and decided she couldn't go through with it. I understood and told her she had a home and I could help her with whatever she needed. We are now several months out and my grandson is 7 weeks old. I love him to death. Lol. His father is in the picture, but not much. He pays child support, but it's pennies. And I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's the age? But having a baby around isn't as easy as I remember. Lol. My daughter is going to a local community college and plans to go to a local state school in the fall. So I think she's doing fantastic. However, my girlfriend and her son aren't happy with this. My wife's son has started complaining about the state of the house because of the baby stuff. The noise levels now, the smells, and pretty much hates having a baby around. I told him to knock it off, and his mom agreed with him a bit. I told them there isn't a discussion to be had, and I was done listening. My grandson woke us up last weekend and girlfriend's son had a full-on meltdown. He screamed at my daughter and knocked over my grandson's swing, breaking it, while telling my daughter she was a W that needed to leave. I told him that was it. He was out. His mother protested, and I told her she can join him because there isn't a choice for me. My daughter ran the baby come first, and her deadbeat son can find his dad to cry too. I admit I was harsh, but so is he. 3 days later, I had him served with an eviction, and he was stunned. His mom has been begging, but my daughter asked me not to give in. Now for the top judgment. Not the a-hole. You did what you had to do to protect your baby and her baby. If the son is capable of breaking an infant's things, who knows what he can do to your grandson? And your wife? She can definitely leave with her son. By defending him, she's only enabling his behavior, and she won't stop him if he escalates. Not the a-hole. Time to lose the girlfriend is okay with her child behaving violently towards yours. Change your locks. Also, how can your ex-wife kick out a child she's been assigned 50% custody of? She may owe your daughter compensation. The world is crazy. She's paying support now, though. Not the a-hole. He's a potential danger to your grandson. This isn't you playing favorites. This is you managing a safety issue. However, you and your wife should help him find his own place to live and definitely help him with rent until he's graduated, 18, and working. His behavior is inappropriate, but not is abandoned by family and is homeless inappropriate. You will have to work extra hard to maintain connections with him and make sure to get counseling for either him or the family. Info. How is it you can even serve eviction papers on a minor? Especially one that's living in his parents' household. His mother may not own the house, but it is still her household. She lives there. I don't see how you can legally evict her minor child. He was 17 at the time of birth, but 18 at the time of eviction. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving my roommate's kid home alone? I told him I couldn't babysit because I had work. He asked me to just stay home and I didn't. I am a 25-year-old woman and my roommate is a 30-year-old man. We're just roommates. He's not really a friend. He found out a few months ago that he has a 7-year-old child with a woman he had one night stand with years ago. He has partial custody and I was planning on moving out when the lease is up in April because I didn't really want to be living with a parent or a family. I had been looking for a roommate who's a quiet young professional because I work from home 3 days a week and I like a quiet space. Yesterday, my roommate asked over text if I would be home today. I said yes. He asked if I could look after his daughter today. I said no. I had work. He said that I wouldn't have to do much. His daughter was pretty independent and I wouldn't have to take time away from work. Just be there in case she needs anything. I said that I didn't really want to split my attention. He said that she wouldn't need hardly any attention, and I dropped it there because I didn't want to argue. So, I thought that was resolved. I thought he realized I declined. This morning, I was expecting to work from home, but I got an urgent call from the office. They needed me there ASAP. So, I grabbed my laptop and ran out of the door without stopping for anything. Didn't stop for breakfast or even a shower. I saw his daughter in the living room watching TV, and I didn't see my roommate there, but I didn't think anything of it. He spends a lot of time in his bedroom, so I wasn't surprised not to see him there. Honestly, it barely registered because I was stressed and preoccupied with a thing going wrong at work. I went to the office for the morning and my coworkers and I resolved the issue in time for everyone to head home for lunch. And when I got home, my roommate was there and he was mad, saying I had told him I'd be home all day and then he comes back and I'm out, and I've left his daughter home alone after he asked me to look after her. I was baffled and said that I'd said I couldn't babysit. He said that he thought we established that I wouldn't need to babysit, just be present just in case. I said that I didn't agree to that, and I had not tried to lie to him. I had to go to work urgently because something unexpected went wrong. He was mad at me for being so head in the clouds, for seeing a little kid alone when I'd already knew she might be home alone, and he'd already asked me to just be there in the apartment and just running out the door. I said I had enough going on. I didn't have the mental energy to take responsibility for this kid at all. I have work and my own responsibilities. He told me that he wasn't expecting me to take responsibility, just do the bare minimum of consideration. Am I the a-hole for leaving my roommate's kid home alone? Not the a-hole. Not your child, not your problem. Especially since you already told him no. If he wants to be in his kid's life, he's going to have to learn how to parent, including finding reliable babysitters. It's not your responsibility to do that for him. Not to mention the fact that in the unlikely event something went wrong, then the roommate would have to pin it all on OP. Stand firm, OP, and do not agree to watch his kid for any length of time. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. If he really thought that you had agreed to babysit, he would have let you know that he was leaving so you would know to check in on the child periodically. He opted to slip away without telling you, assuming that once you realized that the child has been left with you, you would have to keep an eye on her. Not the a-hole. You clearly declined, and he left his kid there without actually yelling or confirming it with you. It's his own fault. Yeah, I think it's a pretty universal rule that if you don't know that you're babysitting, you're not babysitting. As someone who made a living being a babysitter/nanny for many years, childcare should be preceded by a conversation about the expectations, any allergies, the rules, the concerns, etc. If the kid is under 13, your primary activity in that house is supervising that kid, especially if they're not yours. Even a passing childcare role is high stakes enough that it needs to be confirmed, detailed, and agreed upon. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for letting my brother and his family be homeless? Excuse my mistakes, please. I'm 38 female, a mother of 2 girls. One is deceased. She passed away from leukemia in February 2020. She was only 13. Her first anniversary is coming up soon. I feel devastated. I don't know what to do and where to go that day. I wish there was a place where pain does not exist. Her sister is my strength, and she's the reason I get out of bed every day. Their dad passed away in 2018. He was in military. I was still grieving my loss when my daughter got sick. It was too much. I had to keep busy with work just like anybody else. I do not visit my family much because of my brother. We had issues because he has always been insensitive towards me and made comments about my husband. He would laugh whenever my daughters say her dad was a hero. He'd talk about my daughter's illness and say she inherited it from my husband. He helped my aunt's ex get full custody by lying in court. She died broken-hearted as she couldn't see her children. I have a brother who left home years ago because of him, and I have no idea where he is now. And everyone saw no problem with his behavior. A few days after my daughter's funeral, I was staying at my parents' house. My brother brought his 1-year-old son and got the family to circle around him and started making comments out loud about how his son's death is devastating. That he wouldn't live if anything happened to his son or got sick. That he couldn't imagine outliving and burying his own children. My sister stared at me. She noticed he was trying to spite me. I got up and told Mom I wanted to leave after he made those comments. He got involved and said I was being too sensitive and shouldn't be trying to make others miserable. He said I should loosen up because maybe what happened was for the best. I was shocked. He's religious, but I was stunned. I yelled at him, and he yelled back telling me to leave my own parents' house. No one said anything except for my sister. I got contact with him, and I was really hurt that no one called to even check on me. That is, until my mom told me my brother's house burnt down from a heater. It was an accident, and everything they had was lost. They're struggling. She asked if I could take him at his family inn, since the rest live in small apartments and I live in my husband's house. I refused. I argued with her, told her he hurt me and was making fun of my pain. My sister called me to and asked me to help and be the bigger person. Honestly, my daughter's anniversary is coming up and I don't want to deal with him and his insensitive remarks. Others were suggesting I take him in, like I was expected to help. Otherwise, he'll be homeless and I'm the reason for that. I felt uneasy, and they're pressuring me after I already said no. They think I'm being petty and bitter not helping my brother in his darkest times. I'm also worried what he might say to my daughter after everything is said. I can't let him hurt her feeling like he did mine. A few things I forgot to mention. My daughter is 7 years old. She's smart and she pretty much understands everything going on around her. My brother is younger than me. He has 2 kids, and one of them is 1 year old. While his wife, I don't know what to say about her honestly. She's always been rude to me, but never made any hurtful comments nor mocked my pain to be fair here. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Heck no! He never respected you or showed you the least amount of human compassion. You owe him nothing. No, he's not just disrespectful and lacking compassion. He tried to incite Opie to orphan her younger daughter. Living under a bridge like the monstrous troll he is the least he deserves. And the only sad part is that he'll be taking innocent children with him. Not the a-hole, 100%. Excuse my language, but screw that guy. He has not earned the right to your help. You are 100% within your rights and fully justified not to take an antagonistic family member into your house. Even if you decide you are being bitter, it's well and justly earned. Stay strong and continue trying to heal yourself and raise your daughter lovingly to be strong. Former service member. Not the a-hole. Do not take him in. He is a horrible person. He is the reason he will be homeless, not you. You owe him nothing. Let him reap the rewards of how he treats people. I'm so sorry for your loss. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother he can't comment on our parenting choices if we can't comment on his? I, 30 female, am mom to 3 kiddos, ages 7, 5, and 3. My brother, 45 male, married his wife Elaine, 40 female, and became a stepdad to her daughter Belle, 16 female, when she was 6 years old. Elaine was a widow, and Belle's dad died 18 months before they met. My brother considers Belle his daughter, and our family has always treated her as such. But she does not consider my brother his dad, or any part of her family. She does not consider any of us her family, and she openly shares this with anyone who assumes or makes the connection between us all. About a year ago, my oldest asked me why Belle says they're not cousins, and why she doesn't like us. I explained it's not that she doesn't like us, but she's hurting because she lost her dad. And then I explained that my brother raised Belle since she was 6. But he's not Belle's blood dad like my husband/her dad is her blood dad. And that Belle doesn't want people to forget her blood dad, so sometimes she gets angry when people forget. I explained that not all families are the same. And even when we love someone, they might not want to be part of the family. And it doesn't always mean somebody is wrong. It just means they have their own feelings, and that's okay. So, my brother was Zooming with us kinda recently, and he was venting a little about Belle not coming to say hi. And he made a comment about being rude to her aunt, uncle, and cousins. And my oldest told him that it's okay if she doesn't say hi, because she doesn't see us like that and it's not wrong. My brother's demeanor changed, and he asked what my oldest meant. She said I explained that he wasn't Belle's blood dad, and that Belle didn't like people to think he was, or that we were her blood family and that it wasn't wrong if she felt that way. My brother grew visibly more annoyed, and my husband took the kids into another room, which is when my brother went off about me saying that to my oldest, and how they are Belle's cousins and I'm Belle's aunt, whether we like it or not. He then ranted on about how I should make better parenting decisions with my kids, which was when I shut him down and told him he made it clear he did not want us commenting on anything related to him and Belle. So, he had no right to comment on how I parent my children and try to help them through what is an uncomfortable and potentially upsetting family dynamic. He said it was different and is still pissed more than 6 weeks later. I think more than anything, he might be mad that my kids know Belle isn't his biological daughter. Am I the a-hole? Wanted to add that by commenting on his parenting decisions, he has always called himself Belle's dad and refers to her as his daughter, and she has never liked it, which he knows. And our other brother once suggested he respect her feelings, and he told us to butt out and not interfere, so none of us ever did, despite many times things like that coming up where I personally would have. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I'm so sorry Belle has to go through this. I am sure she is hurting, and as someone that has had a step-parent try to insert themselves into my life, I understand where she's coming from. She's 16 and will soon be able to move out, and how he treats her now will make all the difference. Maybe she won't want anything to do with him in the future, and if so, that's her choice, and people need to respect it. There seems to be a total lack of boundaries here. I understand he raised her since she was 6, but she clearly is still hurting. She should go to therapy if she isn't already. OP, your explanation to your daughter was so kind, compassionate, inclusive, and loving. Wow, I'm really impressed by you. Your kids and Belle are lucky. Not the a-hole for saying that to your brother. I understand that it is hurtful to him, but is placing his desires and comforts over that of Belle's, but won't hear it from any of you. You were absolutely right to shut him down in his comments to you. Not the a-hole. When Belle turns 18, she'll cut contact with him if he keeps this up. The fact that he insists on calling himself her father when he knows she doesn't like it makes him a massive a-hole. The rest of the family has known she will cut us all off as soon as she's out of my brother Adelaide's house. She has said it more than once. Have you ever told Belle what you told your kids? She might benefit from knowing that other people are on her side and care about her. She needs to know that just because you guys aren't blood related doesn't mean that you don't care about her and respect how she feels. I have tried, but she's not interested in talking to me. But I would gladly tell her again in the future if she's open to it. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.